Today is Wednesday, November 24th, 2021. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is our recap of Survivor 41, Week 10.
This episode was titled Baby with a Machine Gun.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, it was spoken by Erika in reference to Shan.
Oh.
They're worried.
I missed that.
She was worried that Shan might throw a shot her way because she wasn't necessarily going to be accurate.
And like she did throw a shot.
Like a baby with a machine gun. Holy smokes, we got blindsided.
I'm so excited.
I enjoyed it. Yeah.
I am so excited. I had a 3-point week, and I couldn't care less.
I lost my USB.
Yeah, we don't care.
Okay, it's Viakana.
That was fun.
Night 17.
Okay.
And Danny wants to know, after they're coming back from that double tribal, how'd y'all get Nasir out?
So Ricard tells, because he's got to make sure that they know it was his plan to have Shan play her idol.
Gonna get you some jury credits here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, he's working the jury for sure. So, okay. And Erika tells Deshawn, we got to get one of the idols out of this game. And she prefers Shan. Because, Xander's not as much of a threat.
Deshawn tells us, well, he's got mixed feelings there. But maybe Shan. And then cut to Shan. She's a little disturbed that Deshawn's going off and talking with Erika. And she said it makes her nervous and she's worried.
Because she says he's very charming. And she thinks he's sneaky. So I don't know how much of that is paranoia or she's reading the situation well.
I gotta believe you're almost always paranoid. Sometimes it's for a good reason.
Exactly.
Sometimes not.
Sometimes not.
But when you're playing, I don't know how you could help but not be paranoid.
I would be about everything, I'm sure.
Yeah. Okay, that was night 17. We're on to day 18. This is a 2-day cycle, 18 and 19. We hear some siren sounds as we come in to the morning, and there's a rain falling.
Deshawn tells Shan, Erika was talking to him about Xander. Not her.
Yeah. This was a really fascinating exchange between the two of them. Because when you get to the heart of it, they start going back and forth. What are we going? We've got our alliance of 4, but we've talked about how we want to do this for the culture too, because 2020 was such a hard year for black people and just all these horrible things happening, and they want to do something to have a win, to have something positive to celebrate. And just hearing them talk about that and how serious they were, and then hearing the struggle. Because Survivor is a selfish game, kind of at its core. It can be.
Yeah.
And almost all...
Well, it almost needs to be if you really
there's only one winner. So...
Yeah,
you got to look out for yourself, and you got to have a plan for yourself. But then that they're working at it from a whole other angle like that, I'm like, wow, that's a big deal. You almost never see this. Well, matter of fact, I can't remember ever seeing this.
That's one
Anyone
of the times that I felt like she was really genuine when she said she'd like to do the core 4, but she just doesn't really trust him.
Well, and
she's wavering.
That's the other fundamental principle of Survivor. You can't trust anyone.
It really surprised me, and I saw the depth of it more when Deshawn started crying and just said, "Look, wait a minute.
Yeah,
just
do I take out an ally? I really need to take care of myself. I've got crushing debt, which many students have, and that's where he is. So."
Well, and he clearly sees that one of the number one person that's in his way is Shan, and she's in his alliance. That's a tough spot.
Wrestling with some tough issues for sure. So I
Yeah.
really appreciated that section, and to get to see some people working on a problem that I don't think we'd ever really seen before. At least I can't think of any. And that was, I don't know, it gave me pause for a lot of thought when I see them wrestling with wanting to do something culture-wise like that. That
Yeah.
was,
And this is the first time in this episode that Shan says only the votes will tell you what's really going on.
yeah. On to the reward challenge. Is there anything else you wanted to say?
No?
Okay, so they've got obstacles. They got to get through the water, either swim or walk through, and then they've got to do the classic. They're roped up, so they got to go over and under and around and again, and all that. First leg being the water portion, and then they're going through an obstacle course, and it's just, those things are tough.
I can look at that and go, that would have been fun when I was young.
Yeah.
But, oh, man, I could just feel my back. It's like, no.
Right.
No, I
think
can't put my leg like that anymore.
You had to do one of those Tiffany Cerie moments where you just sat down. It was like,
And just go, nah, is
Yeah.
this really? It's only $1 million, right?
start
This
rationalizing.
really hurts.
Yeah, and at the end, there's a puzzle. So I'm thinking, Xander, Erika, Ricard, who's it going to be? Because we know these puzzles are
Yeah.
differentiators, and there's only a handful of puzzle solvers in this season.
You know, the only one that really surprised me was Deshawn.
Yeah, how so?
I don't know. I didn't think he was as good as he was at the puzzle. You know, I knew
Yeah.
Ricard was. I knew that Erika was. We even had seen Danny do really well in a puzzle, but I didn't remember Deshawn being able to do them.
He did well
Wow.
with Erika on that first one.
Well, I guess I probably thought that was more Erika
Yeah.
because she was in it, but no, I guess it was him as well.
Yep, so for a little bit during the challenge, it was Xander and Liana and Ricard, and then Xander got lost. He kind of fell out of it, and it was just Liana and Ricard moving through the
what if
different
he
stages.
I thought he was like ahead, and then all of a sudden he's like back at the
Got tripped
back
up
of
at the obstacles, yeah.
Yeah, somehow I wonder if he got knotted up or
I don't know. I don't think
don't know.
they really
they didn't show
explain
it
that
he was
because
in
the
the
action,
back.
the action was on Liana and Ricard, and
Yep, that's where the
And
action was.
then
so.
Deshawn and Danny and Erika showed up at the puzzle, and then it ended up being Deshawn versus Ricard, and then Ricard pulled out a win. And Probst had described this as the biggest reward of the season, pizza under the stars, he tells them. And so you got the classic dilemma for the reward. We're at that stage of the game where you
Yeah,
get
you knew
to
that was going to happen.
choose one, and he chooses Shan, no
course.
surprise.
And
But
I
Danny
like
and
that
Deshawn looked at each other when he chose Shan.
But I like that he said Shan has not gotten to eat.
He had reasons.
Everybody knows that. He gave his reasons for it.
So what did you think when he made his next choice?
I thought he was justified to do that
For Heather.
for Heather because Heather hadn't eaten as well. So I think he's
Well, and he
trying
said
to.
she had a rough night, so
Yes, but I also think he was working the numbers.
okay.
He's
So what did you
wanna
think
be.
about his final choice and how he explained it when he chose Xander?
Well, he explained it well in that, look, Xander gave up his immunity to get food for all of us. Mm-hmm. He should be rewarded.
You think that sat well with everyone?
Probably not.
It never does. You can never offer good enough
No, I'd be like,
explanation
hey,
to the ones
you're
that don't
making
go.
him stronger for the immunity challenge.
And we need
I
to vote
want
him out.
To be stronger.
Yeah.
We need to send him home. What
Yeah.
are you doing feeding him?
Exactly.
And giving him a good night's rest when I'm out here, not getting that. And you're supposed to be in our alliance.
So Danny knows what's up. He tells us in a quick confessional after they sort out who's going and who's getting nothing that Ricard is playing to the jury.
Okay, here's the
He's
thing.
becoming the one to beat, he tells
Here's
us.
the thing with Danny, though. It's like he's a step behind.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, wait a minute. They did this. They're a threat. I didn't know this one or that one could strategize like that. We got to get that one out.
He doesn't seem to see them coming
Yeah,
that
he
often,
doesn't
does he?
see it coming.
Yeah.
He sees it after the fact.
Right.
He goes, wow, that was
Which
impressive.
is good. You wouldn't want to miss
Yeah.
it totally.
Yeah, but
Okay, so we got Ricard, Shen, and Heather and Xander going on a reward. And then in the Nothing For You group, we got Danny, Deshawn, Liana, and Erika. And we're back at camp. Viakana there, day 18.
the worst part,
Danny says it's time to make a move. What's the worst part?
poor Xander didn't get to stay back with the losers. He had to go eat.
Yeah. So, yeah, Danny tells us it's time to make a move. And so he sets off with Deshawn under the auspices of trying to get some crabs to go along with the rice that Erika's cooking.
Okay. I liked when Danny and Deshawn were talking.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that they were like, okay, yeah, Shan's not going to like it, but what's she going to do? She got nowhere to go. She'll come back to us. But why would they tell Liana? That's something that they should have kept among them.
Well, they wanted to lock it in and have those numbers.
Well, they can
And
tell her.
They thought they could trust her. You know, he's been telling her all along. He's been bringing her in and saying, "Hey, watch out. Xander's got this, or you know, they know what's up, and
I
Xander
don't
knows
have a
you have
problem with
this."
them bringing her in and telling her what they want to do, but not adding that extra little part
To your previous point, though,
about she got anywhere to go. She'll come back to us. That would
he was
bring
trying
up
to
her
assure her,
protective
but he doesn't know.
instinct.
Again, being a step behind, like we were saying, he doesn't know about how
guess.
deep that relationship runs. I think they've done some degree of hiding that.
Well, since they run around together all the time, and Erika says that they go off by themselves more than anybody else, is what she told us. I thought they might have deduced that from.
I think to Liana's
guess
credit,
not.
she handled it well when she was talking
She
to
did.
Danny and Deshawn, because they said, you know, "We don't want you to tell Shan. Is that okay?" And she made it look like she was good with it, but she tells us in the confessional that she's struggling with that. She wants to play her own game. She wants to have credit and separate herself, but she's got an
And
alliance and a
she
connection with
sees
Shan.
That it could fit her if she and Shan did get to the finale. It could benefit her to say, "Hey, I got your number one guy out."
She knows all that.
But her emotions.
Yeah, she's playing an emotional
she's playing
game.
with her emotions as well.
Yep.
And so, and going without food doesn't help that emotional streak either.
I can't remember why, but I was going back and reading some of the bios this past week, and one of the things that stood out to me when I was reading that, because I saw that in Ricard's bio, it talked about him being a dancer, and maybe that was what it was. I was trying to figure out who might have an advantage in the immunity challenge or something.
I thought so too. I thought he could win.
Anyway, one of the things that he talked about is that need to. He knew he was going to have to wrestle with his emotions, but he wanted to try to find a way to keep those things separate so that he could make the best decisions.
Well, as he said, they've been giving each other permission that at some point we're going to have to go after each other. We know that, right? And I think he was the one more telling her all along, you know, we're going to have to do this. We're going to have to do this. You know, we're going to do this, so that I think he was working the jury even then.
I didn't recall it from his bio that he had, you know, that was part of his core approach to the game, being able to
being a
to
good
hopefully
balance.
not get too caught up in the emotional parts of things, just as a contrast to what we see Liana wrestling
I
with.
chose him to go home this week. And even though I didn't think he would, I said that before it started.
Yeah, but
I don't
you always
think he's
do
going to
this.
go home.
You
but
always hedge your bets with your picks before we
to.
watch it.
No, I'll just tell you what
So
I
you
did.
could be right both ways.
Oh, I am not.
Yes,
Well, I
you
was
do.
right that he could win. Who did we pick? I
You
said,
do.
here's who has a chance to win that challenge from the photos. It's Erika and Ricard and Xander. Those were the three people I
Okay,
said.
we'll get there.
I thought.
We need to go to the sanctuary shack right now, though,
No,
in our
you
recap.
challenged me.
I didn't challenge you. I stated a fact.
All fair and game. I'm defending myself.
Let's go to the sanctuary shack for the reward, the pizza under the stars.
Okay, baby.
So
let's go.
we're back at that setting that we've seen before, where Tiffany and Brad and Sydney had met up, and there's boxes of pizza waiting on them. Shan says, Xander, let's you and I split the veggie.
So are they both vegetarians or something?
Perhaps.
Maybe.
They were okay eating that, and we get to see them enjoying a little bit of pizza, and then Ricard and Shan get into another deep conversation. This was the episode for deep conversations.
Yep. Even though there were people like 3 inches away.
It didn't seem to matter. They were all caught up, and they were food blind. That's how it was presented to us, huh?
You and I get food blind.
And they were enjoying their pizza, but Shan and Ricard are having a pretty weighty discussion. How do we do this? And Ricard says, people like you more. And Shan says, well, more times than not, they'll vote for a man over a woman. Ricard said, yeah, I'm not feeling that this time. Mm-hmm. And so they're struggling with, they've had this. She stated before that Ricard was her number one, and they're wrestling with, hey, we know we're going to have to take each other down at some point, but this is not that time, Shan says. This is not that time.
And he thinks she's better liked. And, he does not for a second forget she has an idol and I don't.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
She's got backup people and I don't.
Right.
Though I don't know that he does it, but...
They agree to put it on hold, but then Shan immediately starts humming the evil tune, her evil theme. She does,
and it's like she did it without realizing it. Till somebody kind of called.
Heather.
Who was it? Yeah.
Heather said, what you singing? Oh, nothing. Just thinking.
Yeah.
Don't worry your pretty little head about that, Heather.
That's mean.
Okay.
Okay, day 19.
Yep. Back at Viakana, Shan and Liana are talking, and it gets emotional.
Do you still want us for to the end?
Mm-hmm. Well, then I need to tell you something.
Yep. Shan said, yeah, that is, but, I want to, but I'm just not sure I can trust Deshawn.
Flashback to the connection there on Shipwreck Island, where Liana said they had bonded over just talking about their moms and their culture and being women in the game, and they feel most connected to each other, we've heard. So even though Ricard's her number one, she's got some emotional bond that's really strong with Liana, and so Liana's upset, and she's got to unload her burden and share
at least Liana has strong love for Shan. She didn't really say the other way, but doesn't mean she doesn't.
Right.
But Liana was the one saying that, and I think that's telling us that she can't vote Shan out. So I think that was for us to know she can't do it.
It was a little interesting because at first Liana was saying, yeah, Danny and Deshawn are planning on blindsiding you, but tonight she says they're going after Ricard. So because Shan fears at first that it's really her that's the primary target, and then Liana tells her, well, yeah, that too, but tonight they're looking at taking out Ricard. And that's when Shan says, we're going to have to vote Deshawn out.
Well, yeah, but she goes and tells him, she knows he doesn't like for her to do that, but she's like, we need to vote out Deshawn.
Are you talking about when she goes to Ricard?
To Ricard, yeah.
Yeah.
And, but then she followed it up with, because they want you out.
They want to separate you from me.
Yeah, exactly right. And, but Ricard, I thought his reaction was strange, didn't you? How hesitant?
No, I would have probably had the same kind of thing, because he knows how dangerous she is, and he's getting this information. He knows he's on the outside of that bigger four.
And they had the discussion, we have to go after each other.
But not yet.
At some point.
And now here she comes saying, hey, Deshawn's targeting you.
And he's like, no.
Let me process it.
I can't believe you're telling me this, because that would have been perfect. They could get me. No problem.
He even says, I'm surprised
and your
you would tell
problem
me.
is solved. So why are you telling me?
Right.
It was almost like a distrust, surprise reaction of, why are you telling me?
Yeah, you've got the perfect plan.
Yeah, that's a really good plan.
Yeah. Because what the general rule is that you should always assume in the game that your adversaries are going to play their best game possible.
Yeah.
And so you try to imagine what that is, and then you look at it, and he did here, and he went, oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's what I would do. I would take me out.
She was also very confident that Xander would vote with them.
Yeah, that was interesting, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, she was like, oh, well, us and Xander.
He does have a
Xander will vote with
little bit of history of following along what the women
as long
have
as
decided.
It ain't me.
Well, there's that too. Yeah. Yeah.
And I got to give him props for, he's reading things pretty good to hang on.
Are you talking about Ricard or Xander?
No, Xander.
You're wanting to flash forward a little. Let's hold on just a little bit.
No, I'm not flashing forward too much.
And go to the immunity challenge, unless there's anything else you want to say about the exchange between
let's
Ricard and
do the
Shan.
immunity challenge.
Community challenge. It's just a single immunity challenge this time. Jeff tells us there's a balance beam that gets more narrow towards the end of it.
Beam.
So you start up high and then you're descending. So you got that working against you, and then you've got a.
Well, that's hard enough, but then when you have to move your hand further down the pole,
you got a pole. It's got a wooden plate on it,
there. Yeah.
And then you got to balance a ball that's rolling around on top of that disc.
Flat plate.
Yeah, flat disc, flat
Yep.
plate, and you get to start off by holding it close to the plate where the ball is balancing, and then you have to move your hand further away as you move further narrow down with your feet on the balance beam.
Why do you think they draw for spots in that kind of challenge?
Just so they can say, look, it's equal. Everybody could be at any station. There's no advantage of one station over another. Everybody's got an equal shot of being anywhere.
Maybe they would have more confidence if they got to choose who they stood by, or they got to be on an end, so there was a
It's interesting. I hadn't thought of that.
distracting person just on one side and not both.
Yeah.
If they're moving around, it doesn't
Takes that out of it.
catch your eye, or I guess that's why. But I just. It stood out for me.
It didn't matter to Liana. She didn't manage to stay in very long once they got going.
That's true. First one out.
And Danny dropped not too long after that.
Is he doing that deliberately, you think?
Well,
or is
Sydney
not?
had talked about him sandbagging something, holding back or making like that he wasn't feeling good or wasn't as strong as he really was.
But you wouldn't think he would do that for individual immunity.
At this point, you wouldn't.
Unless he just feels that confident.
No, I think he goofed it. And plus, Danny's 6'2", and so he's probably got pretty big feet. I noticed Deshawn was like going with one foot in front of another. I don't know. I don't remember if I saw Danny doing that.
That was Danny doing that.
Oh, he was doing that too. Yeah.
I didn't see Deshawn, but I did see Danny.
He's probably like size 12, size 14 feet.
And that was on the widest part. He had 1 foot.
He was already one in front of the other.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. So
But they have to stay within lines too.
Right, because they're 10-minute stages that they're going through as the difficulty increases.
Okay,
so Danny, Liana, then Danny, and then Erika drops out in the second section right after that begins. So I thought she was going to have advantage with those tiny little feet.
Yeah, we thought that. And the balance, but then Heather was out.
Yep.
Then they changed to the most narrow part of the beam, and Shan's out right away.
Well, at the end of that second stage, she saved it.
I could not believe
again.
That she kept saying that.
That was really cool. I liked watching her hang on just that little bit, and then she dropped out when they hit the most narrow part.
Then it's down to 3: Ricard, Deshawn, and Xander.
Deshawn is out.
Yeah, I was like, "Come on, Deshawn."
Probst does his thing where he talks about how much they need to concentrate on what they're doing while he's talking to them the whole time. So it's really a test. Can you tune Probst out?
Well, and
Deshawn's answer, no.
Yeah. Ricard won and dashed my hopes for a vote-off point.
Won his second individual immunity.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. There's some resume.
He did.
It's not a super critical factor normally, how well you do in the physical challenges after the merge, but it usually doesn't hurt.
Well, he's standing out pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So, but good on him.
Yes. Danny tells us that his heart dropped a little when Ricard won, and it's back to square one. They got to figure out how to run the vote. Back at camp, some congratulations for Ricard. Oh, we got that shot of the water funnel out over the ocean there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking at my notes and going,
Why did I write water funnel?
What is a big water funnel?
That's what that was.
And I couldn't bring it up until you said that.
Yeah,
And I went,
yeah.
oh, that. It made me think of a tornado. Mm-hmm. So, but okay. I remember it now. Okay, Shan.
She's happy.
She's very glad that
Ricard
he
won.
wins, so she doesn't have to go to bat for him. And
Pivot.
everything can just go back to normal.
Pivot to getting Erika out and flushing Xander's idol.
And it'll all go easily.
Here's the plan. Don't anyone talk to Xander.
Yep, don't talk to Xander. We're voting for Erika. Everybody do your thing. And
Shut him out so he won't have any information. Then he'll feel compelled to play his idol. And we'll get Erika out because she's a evil mastermind.
Of course, nobody can do that because they all have their own plans. And that was my immediate thought. Well, Ricard, here's an opportunity.
And he shows up
and he
with
did.
exactly that plan. Yeah.
That's
I was
why
surprised.
I was like, wow.
I was really surprised. I didn't think he would move on it at this stage.
I would have chosen Shan, but I thought, oh, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. I could see them voting Ricard to keep Shan and Liana tighter in their group, their core four. And so that's why I thought, oh, I'm not going to put her down.
So Ricard goes to Xander and Heather and lays it out.
Yep.
Let's vote out Shan. And can you get Erika in?
They're feeling like underdogs. Why wouldn't they go with the plan?
And then he impressed me probably the most this whole time. He goes to Deshawn and says, I know you're targeting me. And Deshawn lies and says no.
Yeah, I never said that.
And he, to Ricard's credit, he says, man, he's really annoying me with lying. But right now, I got another plan and I need him.
Yep.
So
enough said.
I'm going to let his lies go for now.
I have to admire that.
Yeah, that was cool
that
that
is
he was
how you
able to
play the
sort that
game.
out. He's playing
It's like, yes, he's annoying me. but
very,
I can put that aside
very logically.
for now. I did like that. I have to say, he impressed me more.
Yep.
I'm to the point now, if he did win, I'd be okay with it.
Deshawn talks to Heather and Erika about how this might go down. And then we see Heather and Erika go talk to Danny. I really liked how they managed that interaction with Danny, at least the way we saw it from the edit.
Yeah, they were testing the waters, so to speak, without putting anything.
They didn't just go blab it.
No, they didn't give it all away. They just started feeling the waters and see how Danny felt.
Who are we going to vote out? Ricard's got immunity. Danny, who do you want? Which is always a great way to broach that. Who do you want? And for whatever reason, that's really bugging Danny that she told Ricard.
Yep. That as far as he was concerned,
His trust had
she
been
broke
violated.
The trust. That's it.
And
Then
you were
crossed
saying,
the line.
wait a second, aren't you mad at Liana? No, he's more mad at
I
Shan.
know. It's like, but Liana told her.
Yeah, I don't think that would have happened
You know.
if Liana hadn't passed it on. Yeah.
And I thought, I told you not to give her too much information.
And it looks like Erika might really have been that threat Shan was saying she was worried about all along, because we see Erika propose the split vote. Let's split between Liana and Shan.
Brilliant.
If she plays the idol, then we'll take out Liana.
And that is a risk, because when you get the numbers down that small, anybody decides to shake things up,
So
they can.
hard to keep a lid on things so it doesn't leak out.
Yeah, because you don't really know if somebody changes. Just like Danny's like, well, no, we're in control because we can do whatever we choose to. Yes, we said we'd do this, but we don't have to. And so you don't really know till you get there who's going to keep their word.
Yep.
And
You don't know till you see the votes, like they're saying.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I thought, yeah, Danny, you're right. She's strategic.
Now, to Danny's credit, he said, I have a choice.
Yep.
There's this Shan thing that's cooking, or we can still get Erika out, because when Erika laid out that plan, she put the fear in Danny.
Yep. She needs to go.
Yeah, that was too good of a plan. We don't need someone who can plan like Erika in this
Who
game.
can strategize like that? I didn't think about that.
He
I'm
was
sure
struggling.
that's what he was thinking.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Yep.
That's good.
She showed me how well she can play. She is a threat. What am I going to do here? I love that. Such great insights into all the different vectors that you have to consider when you're playing. Can you shut things off like Ricard, like being really annoyed when Deshawn's lying to your face over and over again?
Yep.
Can you find what the best move is out of all these moves so that you can execute that? And which is it, especially when you've got multiple objectives that you're considering? Is it for me? Is it for the culture? Do we want to have a win that can help more people?
Well, and the other part is, okay, if I take this step, this direction, where am I going to go next? Because I got to be looking at a few steps ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, to get to the end,
You don't want to paint yourself into a corner.
See all the possible moves
Yeah.
before you take a step.
There's many as you can in this short amount of
Yes,
time because there's
yes.
time pressure.
That's true. They don't have a lot of time, and they got to make a decision, and everybody's talking to everybody.
Like all those cooking shows you watch, all those people could cook anything given enough time.
That's
but when
true.
you only give them 30 minutes to figure it
Or
out.
20 on
Yeah.
some of it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
It's
shoot,
a whole
what am I going to
different-
do with this in 20 minutes?
It's a whole different deal
Yes,
to
it
work
is.
through when you don't have much time.
And that most of them admit, well, we sit at home and go, oh, for heaven's sakes, I could do blah, blah, blah. And then we get here, it's like, wait, this is way tougher than we
See
thought.
all the weighty issues they're trying to sort through to make these
Yep.
decisions. Another really good episode. Different reasons, but yeah.
Anything else before we go to tribal council?
No, it's night 19. Let's go to TC,
Right.
Tribal Council.
Tiffany, Nasir, and Evie are ready to go in
Mm-hmm.
the jury.
Yeah.
Let's see what's been happening. Xander tells us he's a lone soldier and has been for days.
He's the wrong person to ask about what things are like at camp.
How do I know, Jeff?
Yep. He'll be able to tell you after tribal.
Yeah.
He's just not sure. Heather says, "Yep, I'm on the bottom." So she's doing some good acting again.
And here's Xander acting again. I've got an idol to use for tonight, but after that, so he lets them think I'm
That's true,
playing my
yep.
idol.
Yeah.
That was deliberate.
And he had
And
said it
good on
earlier.
him.
Yep, had said it earlier too.
Because
Yep.
if they know I'm playing my idol, they won't waste a vote on me, and then I'm not going to play it.
But as he's also saying, people aren't talking to me, so I don't know what's true or not.
Yep, but seems to be reading tribal council fairly well.
When Erika spoke up after Heather, and Probst was like, "Okay, so Heather says she's on the bottom. Erika, where do you feel?" And she's like, "Yeah, maybe, but it depends on who's playing. There's plans.
If you're a part of the plan, or you know nothing at all.
Or you're being told the plan, or is it your plan?"
Yeah,
It's like, oh, don't say too much. Don't give it away.
I know. I was thinking that too.
Yeah,
It's like, Erika, zip it.
right. Maybe you can work from the
Don't
bottom.
make her suspicious,
Yeah.
and she play her idol.
Shan said it doesn't matter if you're at the top or the bottom. You're always just one step away. Whew.
Yeah,
Foreshadowing.
and you don't know who you can trust until after the vote. So, yeah.
Even Ricard seemed like he was telling too much. I mean, we had the insight that there might be a plan to go after Shan, but when Probst asked him, he said, yeah, holding on to an alliance is difficult, and especially Shannon and I, we've been working on it, but we don't know how long we can hold on to it.
I'm not sure what advantage she thought it was to her to say, we are all liars here. It's just you have to weigh the risk of what's going to happen with this liar.
Yeah, this liar over that liar.
Yeah.
Which one?
I thought,
Which is what Ricard was wrestling with Deshawn.
yeah.
Yep. It was a valid statement.
Though I don't
Did you think people
she
might
had
be
a clue
offended by
about
it?
that.
No,
I
she
don't
didn't.
know. I just, I didn't see
it's accurate.
the point to highlight. It is accurate,
Yeah.
you know, but you don't need to show your entire hand all at once.
Here comes Deshawn. Lies are messy.
Yeah.
And now I think Deshawn's thinking about Shan lying, but Shan's thinking about
Well,
Deshawn lying to
Sean
Ricard.
kind of gets a little bit defending himself or whoever in that, well, but you know that, yeah, there's lying, everybody lie, but you can tell the truth to the people that you're working with and that you trust. It's like, yeah, if you trust them. But you guys aren't trusting each other. But I think he was
And then-
trying to distract her from the blind side.
Every person who spoke up through this section made me a little more anxious.
Yes, me
Because
too.
here comes Danny saying, well, I know who people...
Don't say too much. Don't say too much.
I know who people feel they're working together with,
Shut
but
up, Danny.
maybe they're wrong, Danny says.
Yeah.
Are
Well,
you
and
trying to
then-
unsettle everyone? What are you doing? You're going to spark
Erika-
a live tribal here.
Yeah, Erika steps in and says, well, what I have to offer is my vote. If you want to work with me, I have a vote. That's what I have.
Votes are equal, and I got one.
You know, it's not about working with you or not. You know, and I thought, is she talking to Xander? Hey, if I need a vote and you got a vote and we decide to vote, then we can work together. Doesn't mean I'm in an alliance or not in an alliance. It's just, let's vote.
Yep, Shan says those opportunities can certainly be scary.
Well, okay. Shan said, you know, they're saying, or was it Erika said, Shan and I have worked together to get Nasir out.
Well, Probst was trying to dig a little deeper on had they talked to each other or not, because it was from what Shan said, they hadn't really talked to each other today.
Yeah, but she said, so I think we've built some trust.
It was kind of a cover, right?
Yes, I
Yeah,
thought so,
or
but I thought it
recover.
was a good spur of the moment cover and trying to earn jury points. That Shan and I made the decision.
Oh yeah, it never hurts to go ahead and
'cause
update your resume to the jury,
Ricard,
right?
You know, pointed out, hey, I'm the one that told. And so she said, well, Shan and I made the move to, and Shan's like, oh yeah, you know, she's a very trusting person. I thought,
Well, they've worked
"Oh,
together, yeah.
I bet you don't think that now, but okay. I thought, she's setting them, all those little steps setting her up for that blind side. Because I do not think she even remotely saw that coming.
A couple more chime in right before they go to vote, and Ricard's talking about how perception of yourself is what ends up ruling. You have to try to guess at how you're being perceived, and then
I really liked that, you know, that he and Shan, he was talking about they have a weird relationship, but he said mostly it's about our perception of ourselves. Mm-hmm. That's what it's all really about, and I thought
it certainly gets
I
filtered through
appreciate
that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then
But that's also
Liana-
how you project things onto other people too that aren't necessarily accurate, but you can't help that. That's what you have to work with.
Liana chimes in and tells us she has studied this complex game, and we think we know what's going on, but one of us is wrong.
And it's got her head spinning.
Yep, and that will show up tonight. I thought, yes, ma'am, it did.
Time to
and
vote.
You were wrong.
Time to vote. Now, were
Yeah.
you surprised
I
that
was
we got
shocked that
no
nobody
idols?
played an idol.
Yeah, me too.
Nobody
I
played
wrote
an idol.
no in the exclamation
I wrote no.
points.
I did that. See, I know. I did
Yep.
exactly that too.
Me too.
No
Right.
exclamation point. I was like, oh my gosh.
Okay, the votes come back. We get 2 for Erika. We're expecting that.
Yeah.
Shan and Liana. And then the votes come in for Shan. And then Liana. And Shan. And Liana. And they end up in that
And it's
3-3
like, oh my
tie.
gosh.
They
I was
did it.
expecting something to, get
Yep.
thrown in there, and then they actually did it. 3-3.
Yep, they got her.
Oh my goodness. They knew.
Shan knew
she
too.
knew. She knew
It
she was
done.
in trouble then.
She said,
It's
"Don't trust
over.
them."
Ricard made his move.
Yep.
But were you surprised at how she reacted to Ricard? And it's okay. It's okay. And, Deshawn, you are a snake.
That was really
like,
what she was
what?
going for. I think the Ricard thing was just more of a decoy, a setup.
I didn't. I thought she was.
Because there's a flip side to what she said to
talked about
Ricard.
Okay, what's the flip side?
Well, when she said, "You get my vote for $1 million," And we've seen this happen before. People will say that in tribal when they're upset. They'll turn, oh, you're the one who got me. You get my vote. And what does that tell the other people in the game?
Vote him out.
I need to get rid of that person that has her vote so that I can get her vote.
Nope, I want her vote.
Yeah, I need to get rid of this issue.
I don't think that's why she did it. I think she was more genuine. But she did turn to Liana and say, don't trust anybody.
Yeah, we've seen other people say exactly the same
Yeah.
thing when they get blindsided like that. Well, what is she going to do? She's going to have to trust someone.
Well, and then she tells us she played a strong game, but she regretted leaving with an idol in her pocket.
And Evie turned to Tiff at the end and said, and Xander still has an idol. Yeah, that was good.
Xander's like, nobody's getting my idol. They're not getting it. And an extra vote.
And
Don't
the extra
forget
vote
the
is just,
extra
yes,
vote.
he is the most powered up individual
It's like,
in the game.
Dude, I'm impressed.
Well, we weren't given there had to have been some discussions with him and Erika and Heather
Yeah, yeah.
that really convinced him.
And he knows they want him to play it. He knows that.
Mm-hmm.
And but he read it right. He wasn't the target.
Yep.
He could have been wrong, and it could have cost him, just like Shan, if he'd have been overly confident. But it worked. So, hey, it just makes him look good. I don't know how long he can keep doing that, but so far, so good. And now he's the only one that has anything. So I expect they might put another one back in play. What do you think?
At this
Another
point,
idol?
I read something that said that Nasir had to give his back. Now, we know that they keep the idols so that they can use them in future seasons and stuff like they did
They
with
do
Ghost
now.
Island.
They didn't always used to.
Well, they collected a bunch of them, like in Ghost Island, when the
they
old
did.
ones that weren't used effectively got powered back up and became new advantages and new types of, or new idols and things like that. So it could just be that, or very likely they'll collect hers too. And I guess it's possible with 7 people left. How many do you want in the game? I don't want 3 immunity idols in there.
Yeah.
I'd prefer them work it out in the classic sense.
Well, here's what I really thought was going to happen tonight. That they were just going to, they showed all this. Oh, we're going to vote out Deshawn. Oh, we're going to vote out Ricard. Oh, we need to. And I thought, oh, yeah, none of that's happening. It's just going to end
Erika.
up being Erika or Heather. If Erika wins the challenge, it'd be Heather. And
I had Erika
but I
to
thought,
go.
I don't care. I'm staying with Ricard to go because I think it would be fun to see a big move. And
You're right.
that I thought Danny would truly want to get Ricard out so that those 2 girls would be solidified their alliance with them more without Ricard. So that's why I stayed with Ricard, even though I knew he had a chance to win. But I was so excited. I didn't even care that I was wrong. I didn't care that I was trying to get one more safe pick off of Shan, and I lost it. I just was so happy.
Certainly impressed. I
We
lost
were
my
both happy, but
lost my
yes.
USB.
High five! Yay! Yeah, you lost your USB, and we were still smiling and happy
We're like,
and went.
what gameplay?
Yes,
And
there was great gameplay.
thanks for showing the struggle and the depth and the complexity and trying to decide how to cast your vote and how
Yeah.
tough they made it on themselves.
And that at least these people are really playing, and you don't know which way the wind's going to blow.
The only thing I took issue with at Tribal Council was the crap Jeff said about how different this season is. This stuff's always there. Now there's some elements of this that with the how are we going to.
Yeah, but that's kind of the theme of the season.
He wants it to be different.
Yeah.
But my thought was, just okay, moving on. It's not
different in some
It's
ways, but it's still Survivor.
yeah.
And it's still, I just want to see them play the game and play hard.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do that, then you have my respect for
And I
playing that one.
absolutely believe they took out the biggest threat in Shan.
Yeah, I
Because
do
Ricard
too.
does, like you and I were talking about before that episode started, he does seem to be managing the relationships a little
Yes,
better.
his social game is better.
He's not he doesn't seem to have alienated
people,
the way he did on his own tribe.
Yeah, he did that immediately, and that was that. But he didn't make that same mistake. He learned, he changed it, and just like being annoyed with Danny, he didn't show it, didn't let it.
Or Deshawn.
He's really good. Yeah, Deshawn. He's really good at that deadpan. No expression. Don't change anything. Don't react.
He's got a good mask.
Don't show your Don't show your emotion. Don't. Just keep
Probably
that.
being a flight attendant, that's very practiced.
Well, yeah, truly. But anyway, I like the whole episode. That was so fun. That they're just not just the final, those 5 picking off the other people. It's like, oh yeah, it's not working out that way. I love it.
And we got to see things from a lot of different perspectives and angles. That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
another good one for different reasons, different dimensions.
Yes.
So I definitely feel like the season was bumpy in the beginning, but it's been redeeming itself here in the last 3 episodes at least.
Good because it's exciting for me.
Next time on Survivor?
Liana.
Pitching a fit.
Yeah. We cannibalized ourselves. That's stupid. So you're calling Danny and Deshawn stupid, basically.
Yep. And she tells us in her confessional that she is vowing revenge.
If you're a snake, then I'll bite back and you'll be gone tomorrow. I'm thinking, you and what other votes are going to make that
Where's
happen?
your connection?
Yeah. Where are your votes? Why are you so confident that you can take him out tomorrow?
Right.
I thought, that's just anger talking, of course.
Do you think she'll go to Xander and try to repair things now?
Probably, and see if he'll give her his idol.
We see Xander talking to Ricard, and he's saying, your name's out there. And I thought, yes.
Big time. Your name's out there, Ricard.
I thought, yes, this is payback for that tribal council where Ricard kept trying to get him to play his idol.
But Ricard tells us now, that Erika, she's shady. I'm thinking,
wait,
that's so
how was
funny
that about
coming
her?
from
Yeah,
you.
exactly. Yeah.
I thought,
well, and
you
to his
admire that. That's
this is his perception point and the ensuing projection that happens. Yeah, when you know you're shady, you'll project that shadiness and perceive other people's actions in that same lens.
And we don't know what she's talking about, but Erika informs us that if I don't take a shot now, I have no chance. Well, you go, girl. What do you got to lose?
And Probst tells us there's a twist in the next immunity challenge, and it's a dangerous one. You have any ideas?
No. No, other than I wonder if it had something to do with Xander being on the beach going, this is too good to be true. Or maybe he won immunity. I don't know. But he seemed happy.
Yeah. How about a JSFL update?
Oh, I can do that. Okay. With 46 points, congratulations, Gene N from Arkansas. You are in first place 3 weeks running.
Gene, how are you doing this?
Good job, Gene. Yeah, I don't think she got the vote off point either, but she stayed in first.
Yeah.
So good on you. Congratulations to the 40 people who got a vote off point. There were 120 people who lost a safe point. Me. And 49 people lost their USB U.
Yep.
And for the side...
End of that saga.
Yes. Side challengers with 42 points, Rebecca moves into first place.
Solo.
Yes. 41 is Jeremiah and Michael. With 40, Cold Mike and Parker. 39, Jay Kindred and Stacy. 37, Randy. 36, Justin. And with 32, Drew.
Drew, welcome to the 30s.
All righty. Did you want to talk about the extra vote advantage that you looked up?
Oh, and that was a follow-on to the, we were talking about on a listener feedback show. Brad and Christiana had asked about that, and I did dig back through. There was an extra vote that was used in a tie vote back in Ghost Island. In that season, was that season 36 or something like that?
Don't ask me that.
Anyway, I went back and looked, and in episode 6, they actually showed the text on the extra vote, the explanation, and it does say that it can be used through a tie.
Yes, it says the extra vote advantage extends through a tie and revote.
Yeah.
Now, we don't know 100% that that's true for this season, but it did say that, and good on you. I was wrong.
Well, good on you for admitting it.
Well, yeah, I was wrong. There's no admitting or not admitting. It's a fact, according to that. But
Yeah. Okay.
So, good on you for finding that. There's no way I would have put the energy into that. But you hung in there till you found it and got a screen capture of it.
Yep, did some searching and then used that subscription on Paramount Plus to go back through the seasons and find it. Anything else you want to say about this episode?
Nope. We figured out the Rebus puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
Did our thing with that.
Yeah,
So it was kinda
we've actually had fun. I know
solving
it's
the
for kids, but
puzzles.
we don't always get them right away.
Hey,
so
I'm a kid.
at heart, we are kids
I
at
am.
heart. Yes.
Absolutely. I don't think
So it must
that
be
goes
for us
away.
too. Yes.
We're a combination of all of
Okay.
those things. So, yes, I enjoy it.
We are looking forward to hearing what you thought about this episode and all the different dimensions and the various takes on what occurred and what we witnessed as we saw it. Wondering if you're enjoying it. We certainly did, but we know different people from different walks of life see things through different lenses, and we gather together on Saturdays to share that. We'd love to have you come be a part of it and join our listener feedback show. We've been having a great time and a blast. I gotta be honest, I'm not expecting a whole lot because of the holiday here in the U.S. We got Thanksgiving on Thursday and Native American Day on Friday.
I think you're wrong.
You think we're gonna have more people like David sneaking off to the
sneaking
study?
off to a closet to make a quick record.
Okay.
We already got one in. John and Ann got theirs in before I went in to update the website, and it was already in the email.
They were done.
I'm like, what?
Well, people are busy and people are traveling and they got a whole bunch of stuff going
Like,
on.
boy, they got
But
it
if
done.
we would love to have you come be a part of the listener feedback show on Saturday. We've got a voicemail line to make it super easy, even if you're on the go and traveling, watching from a hotel or whatever. The number is 206-350-1547, toll free 844-643-8737. You can always record your own audio. You'll probably get the best sounding recording that way and attach it to an email, or you can type it up and we'll read it into the show on your behalf. That email address, Joanne and Stacy Show @gmail.com. Feedback's due noon Pacific on Saturday, and we ask you keep it in that 3-minute range. We're looking forward to hearing from you, and we'll be putting out our second show of the week there.
There is only 7 people left to throw their names into the pot to see who's going home next week.
Yeah, you're saying it's
7.
easier for you to figure out who's going to be voted
not
out?
at all.
It's only
But
7.
It's just a draw for me. It's like, I don't know. I don't know
It'll
who's
be interesting
going.
to see what the twist is
Take
at
your
the
best guess.
immunity challenge, because Jeff wants to make it dangerous.
But there are.
How do you make the game dangerous at this point?
That's a good question.
I have one idea.
What?
You have to step away for something. You'll gain an advantage, but you have to not be in camp. You have to not.
Do you have to give up immunity? Because is that
Maybe.
an immunity? Was that immunity?
It was immunity.
challenge?
Yeah, the necklace was there when he was saying all that. Yeah, dangerous is giving up immunity. That's for sure. Dangerous is not getting to be a part of camp, but only showing back up to vote, or maybe even getting to skip a tribal council. But then you're just out of it at that point.
Yeah, good ideas, but I don't know.
We'd love to hear your ideas on what you think's coming next. Anything else you want to say?
Just there's only 3 more weeks.
Yep, that's true. And it'll be over. All right. Have a good one.
Good night, everybody.